145 jaar geleden werd er een Spaans wijnhuis gestart, Torres, door de overgrootvader van Miguel Torres in de buurt van Barcelona met gewoon een aantal wijngaarden. En dat is inmiddels uitgegroeid tot een enorm wijnhuis met verkoop van wijnen over de hele wereld. Ze zijn uitgeroepen in 2014 en 2015 door Drinks International tot World's Most Admired Wine Brand. En ik ontmoet vandaag de 5e generatie Miguel Torres hier bij Loetje aan het IJ in Amsterdam. Miguel Torres, it's really nice to meet you.
It's a pleasure for me to be here with you and to taste some wines.
Yeah, let's do so. But first, let me ask you, how did it all start 145 years ago?
We start as farmers in the Penedès, which is very close to Barcelona city. And there were two brothers from the Torres family that they decided to join forces and start to produce wine. And still we have our winery there. And the company has been passing from one generation to another generation. I'm the 5th generation.
Five generations already.
And I hope that maybe one of my kids will like to continue. We'll see.
So all the guys are named Miguel, your father, your grandfather, you, your son?
I'm sorry, we're very original on that side. We're very classic. But it's true, it's a nice tradition and it's a way to, to show what our heritage and to continue this tradition, yeah.
How old were you when you tasted your first glass of wine or just a sip? Do you remember?
I remember one day at maybe 12 years old that I went with my father to taste some wines. The wines were not finished yet, they were fermenting, so they had a lot of sugar and a little bit of alcohol. And my father was spitting the wine because we had to taste a lot of wines. And I was behind and I was not spitting the wine. So I drank a little bit too much of wine and then my father was very upset with me. So it was a lesson to me because really you have to respect wine. You have to enjoy it, but you have to respect it too.
Can you tell me something about this wine, Mas La Plana? Is it your favorite?
I would say it's one of my favorites. It's a wine that was started by my father. It was back in the 60s that he wanted to plant Cabernet Sauvignon. He wanted to show that Spain could have great Cabernet Sauvignons. It was a bit of a crazy idea. The first vintage was 1970, and when my father gave the wine to my grandfather didn't like it and said that this wine was bad. No? So they were fighting every day. So at the end, my grandmother was tired of all this fighting and said, look boys, why don't you show this first vintage, this wine, to a competition in Paris, no? So they showed this wine into the blind tasting Gold Milo Wine Olympics in Paris. And well, it was a big scandal because Mas La Plana beat all the French wines.
Really?
And on those times, it was an amazing thing because it was the first time that Spanish wine did such a great performance in a competition. So of course, after that, my grandfather, he tried the wine again and said, look, it's not bad. Maybe we can make some more bottles.
Can I try some?
Absolutely. Every wine has its own occasion. Sometimes you are with friends, a more informal way. Sometimes you are in a more formal situation, you want something more special. Mas La Plana is definitely one of my favorite wines. This is actually the 40th anniversary of Mas La Plana from very old vineyards, and I think that on a certain way somebody helped us from somewhere to have very good weather conditions. It's an amazing vintage, a bit cooler, so the Cabernet Sauvignon ripe very slowly. So it's more aromatic and more intense than the rest of the years. Has a very nice intensity in mouth. It's very deep and still very young. This wine can age for 10 or 15 years without problem.
I heard the company is really environmental friendly.
Yeah, my grandfather used to say, the more care we have for the earth, the better is going to be our wine, no? So it's something is in our philosophy. And maybe today one of the biggest challenges that we have is what is going to happen with global warming. This is really affecting the vineyards. It seems that the temperatures are going to keep increasing. So we are trying to really reduce our carbon footprint. We are trying to plant vineyards in higher altitudes. We're trying to figure out really how the best wines are going to be made in the future. No?
Is there something you want to change, or do you have a special dream about buying a piece of land or a grape or something like that?
Yeah, I think that every generation had its own dreams. That's why we have so many wines, because these dreams, these wines are like our children, our sons. And the fifth generation, that's me and my sister and some of my cousins, we really want to keep making high quality wines. We're focusing a lot on specific vineyards, so we want to make more single vineyard wines, wines that come from just one unique vineyard, and especially wine for restaurant. This is our aim on that side.
So what's your special connection you're feeling with Amsterdam?
Some time ago, when I was trying to convince my wife to get married with me, she's from the United States. I was in Spain, so Amsterdam has a very good airport, and it was a very good meeting point. So every month we were meeting here in Amsterdam. We were going to nice restaurants, to nice museums, having a lot of fun. And it was the first time that she started to drink wine, and also it was the way to convince her to get married with me. So every time I go to Amsterdam, it's very special feelings.
So it's a city of love for you.
City of love, totally. It is.
Nice.
I own a lot of things to Amsterdam, yeah.
What about your parents-in-law? Do they drink wine now?
Well, at the beginning it was a bit hard, it was a bit awkward, me bringing wine to them, but I started to bring wines like Masa Plana, like Grans Murallas. They started to drink a little bit, and I showed them that wine can be, if you're drinking in moderation, a very healthy drink, drink that you have to respect, to enjoy. And now actually they changed totally, and they drink plenty of wine, and they go on holidays to wine regions.
Really?
And they told me last year, look Miguel, we have to tell you something, we are much happier now than before we met you, so that's good.
Great. Well, thank you so much. I really enjoyed this interview, and salud.
Thank you, salud, salud. Thank you.
Mucho gusto. Jaap, mede-eigenaar van de 9e Loetje.
Ja, morgen 9, ja.
Morgen
Morgen
9.
Het gaat in de 9e over. Ja. 15 jaar geleden zijn we met Torres in aanraking gekomen, via onze leverancier natuurlijk. En die had een presentatie gegeven van al zijn wijnen die hij had. En daar werden we zo goed en spontaan ontvangen dat we dachten van waarom doen we niet de hele kaart. Dus we hebben toen we hebben 6 rode, 6 witte, 2 rosés. Die hebben we op de kaart gezet.
Voor ieder wat wil eigenlijk.
Voor iedere druif die er was, hadden wij een wijntje erbij bedacht. En dat sloeg geweldig aan.
Wat leuk.
Dat sloeg geweldig aan. En nu hebben we nog steeds een aantal wijnen. De kaart is wel veranderd. Maar we hebben nog steeds dezelfde huiswijn als 15 jaar geleden. En dat is nog steeds van dezelfde kwaliteit.
En hoe kies je nou je wijn?
Nou, je moet in ieder geval opletten dat het een goede drinkbare wijn is. Dat is sowieso belangrijk. Er zijn natuurlijk prachtige wijnen waarvan je na 2 glazen denkt van nou, dat gaat niet verder. Dus hij moet drinkbaar zijn. En dan moet het ook nog zo zijn dat je hem altijd leverbaar hebt, zeg maar. Wij hebben best wel veel wijn nodig. En de smaak moet goed zijn natuurlijk.
Leuk dat je de 9e gaat openen. Ik wens je heel veel succes met
dankjewel.
Loetje.
Dankjewel.